Hi friends, my channel is called Minivan Muse. I travel in my 2023 Honda Odyssey named Betty White, and we travel around the country to beautiful places, interesting places, and I'm happy that you're here to travel along with us. Hi friends, how's everybody doing out there? Hope everyone's doing good. Well, 4 weeks until the trip. You know, these weeks right before a trip seem very long. Anyway, today, right about now, I know I'm poly prepared, but that's me. Today's episode is called Making a List and Checking It Twice. LOL. So it's about this time before a trip that I usually start making a list. But before I do that, let me recap this summer trip. I'm going to be going from California to Maine. The way there is going to be kind of straight shot, cross country, hang out with some friends in New York, go to Maine, come back to New York, and then on the way back, I'm thinking of hanging a right, going up into the upper peninsula of Michigan, through Minnesota, and then back through the Dakotas and south. Now, last year on my trip, I just want to say, I wasn't filming then, I didn't have my channel then, but last summer I did Pacific Northwest, and I had to be very flexible with where I was going because of the wildfires. There were lots of fires in the Pacific Northwest. Apparently there is every summer. Last summer was the first time I had spent considerable time there on a vacation. And I did have to alter my route. I was just watching a YouTube video about a guy who's in Minnesota right now, and apparently there's wildfires coming down from Canada, and the smoke is really bad in some places. So last year when I was in Utah, I had to kind of get out of there quickly because I actually saw one fire from the road. I'm driving and I look up and I see, the forest is burning, but I had to kind of go in a different direction than I had planned, mostly because the smoke was really bad. So I need to be flexible. I would love to check out the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I have some friends in Michigan I would love to stop and see. And then I've always wanted to check out Minnesota and then make my way back through the Dakotas, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and then back here to California. So it is really important, I think, to make a plan, and I have every day of this 30 days planned out of where I'm going to go, how many miles a day. It's all planned out. And I also need to be flexible and not be too disappointed if I have to change course for any reason. One thing I really missed last year, and I'll try to get there next year, because next year I'm going to do, in 26, I'm going to do Pacific Northwest again. I have a good friend who just moved to the Seattle area, so I'm going to see her. But I would really like to go to Cascades National Park. Last summer I did get to go to Glacier. It was beautiful, and Crater Lake, beautiful. But I missed out on going to Cascades National Park in Washington because of the fires. Anyway, back to my list. So what I do when I'm making a list is I put the main kind of things, and I have bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, Betty, tracking, and someone who's going to water my plants. I'm trying to keep my friends' names anonymous here. Anyway, one of my neighbors is going to water my plants. Can't forget to, remind her of the dates. For tracking, I have 2 good friends, and they can track me on my phone. I have an iPhone where I have the, share your location thing. I know some people have the satellite trackers, the Zolios and the Garmins and all of that. I thought about those, but I didn't want to really take on that expense. And I don't do a lot of out in the middle of nowhere where there's not good cell service for the most part. So I just have my friends track me on their phones, on my phone. I also check in with them every evening and every morning and let them know that I'm okay. So I gotta remember to do the share location, and I check in with my friends. My neighbor is gonna water my plants. Bedroom. I gotta make sure I have my pillows, my blankets, and my pajamas, something that I wear here in my apartment. Some things are not like pre-packed, so you're packing them, the night before you leave. A couple of different pair of shoes, of course, a pair of sandals because it will be summertime, but also some, tennis shoes or sneakers. For the bathroom, I have to take my clippers. As you've noticed, I keep my hair very short. And last year, when I was on my vacation, I forgot to take my clippers, and I kind of clip it myself. And so I had to buy another pair because I couldn't stand how long my hair was getting. Maybe I'll talk about my hair in a separate video. But I got to make sure to take my clippers and my tweezers and soap. Bug spray is going to be a big one. I got eaten by mosquitoes in North Carolina a couple years ago. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Sunscreen, and of course the old toothbrush and toothpaste. Under kitchen, I live on coffee. I drink way too much coffee, so of course coffee's at the top of my list, and my creamer. I'm going to take some tea. Got to get my water. You've all seen in my other videos my Scepter water tank. Got to fill that up before I leave. And my fridge, my Alpicool, you pre-cool it. So the night before you leave, you plug it in and get it cooled off so that it's already cool when you put it in the car and you drive away. For food, I try to be flexible with myself when it comes to food. I tend to stop at a market every 2 or 3 days, and I kind of just, I'm on vacation, so I kind of go with my whims. I don't do fast food typically on the road. I like things like rice with a little bit of meat and some vegetables. So I will stock up on a little bit, but I do only have a 20-liter fridge that can, carry maybe 3 days of food, 4. It could probably carry more, but 3 or 4 days. And then, of course, I have no problem, stopping along the way. Betty is going to be getting serviced at the end of June. I leave in mid-July, and she's going to get an oil change, of course. And it's time for them to replace brake fluid replacement or something like that. So I already have that scheduled. As far as reservations when I'm on the road, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but in my daily life here at home, at work, I'm like scheduled. So I like to stay as loose as possible. As I mentioned in the first video, when I'm like planning the trip, I usually have a first choice, second choice, third choice of where I'm going to sleep each night. So I tend to not make very many reservations. I do have one hotel reservation, and that's in Maine on the coast for when I'm going to be there in late July. But other than that, because I wanted to make sure I had that spot, I don't have any camping or hotel reservations. I like to keep it loose like that, because that's what vacations are for, is to be loose. Charging cords, you know, I mean, I charge my phone and my iPad, and that's things you don't want to forget. You don't want to forget, of course, your charging cords. So that's really what's on my list right now. In the coming 2 weeks, will kind of get my gear out, make sure everything's packed right. And so the next video, I'll probably be talking more about my gear and how, you know, it's situated here and getting packed up and ready to go. I do typically load the van little by little the week before I leave. I'm leaving on a Saturday morning, so that week I'll usually take a few things out each day so that I don't have to load everything, you know, on Friday night before I leave. Some things, of course, you can't load till you're about to leave, like your fridge and stuff. But the other things can be loaded that week before I leave. All right. Well, this has been fun, documenting how I get ready for a trip. I got all my maps. I got my route laid out. Betty, my van, is going to get serviced. I got my list. I'm checking it twice. And I can't even tell you how excited I am about this trip, and excited that I'm going to be documenting it. I also think I'm going to do a video about what's going to happen after I come back. There's some big things coming with my living situation. I don't want to give too much away now, but things are definitely going to be different in the coming year, this fall and winter. Well, that's it for tonight, and take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.